and welcome. So this is the Champagne series, and it's a space where women in leadership and in life can come and join me on the sofa, and we can discuss anything from work, relationships, successes, and the failures that often come as part of life. So this is sponsored by Everflight Vineyard, and we are not messing around. We're sharing a glass of champagne. Thank you. And this is my beautiful first guest of the series. This is Mandy Smith, cabin fever author, an extraordinaire, and a very good friend of mine.
Hi there.
It's so lovely to have you. We're going to have another ching.
Yeah,
Come on.
chink, chink.
Ching to the champagne series.
Ching, ching.
So it's just so great to be in this space and to be able to share stories of women of inspiration like you, Mandy, with the world. So first off, what's an overview of you? Who are you? What's gone on to date?
Oh, I'm just doing a jack of all trades is what I would really say. I started off because I've never really enjoyed staying in one place when I was younger, work-wise. I would jump from job to job and I was never really settled. Went from admin to receptionist to working in an office, and I think I was always pushed that way.
Yeah.
Because my father wanted me to go and do business because that's what he did.
And where did you grow up? Did you grow up north?
Up north, yeah. Up north. And I went to Teesside University and studied computer programming, probably back in the days of COBOL and C+ and Pascal, which is really old languages now. But they do go out of date every 18 months. So as soon as you've not been in the business for 18 months, you're really out of date. So I couldn't really step into those shoes when I came down south.
And what brought you down south then? What happened there?
Well, I was still at university when my parents moved down south because my dad was the director at Sun Lions, which is based in Horsham. Mm. And we call that Sun Lions City because it's literally just hugely based around Sun Lions and not much else there. And so they moved down and I used to come down and visit on the National Express coach.
Yeah, I remember doing them from Torquay and Devon. Yeah.
Which is about a tenner in those days. I used to have to get through to Middlesbrough. And
tenner in 10 hours, wasn't it? Oh, no phones. I can't even remember if we had phones.
I think I just probably slept the whole way there. But then my parents basically stayed down there with my little brother.
Right.
My big brother was in Russia at the time. He was doing import and export out there. So when he moved back, he moved down south as well.
Okay.
So we all ended up being down south, which is quite nice. And then I just carried on. I was looking for a job and again, jumping from job to job.
Yeah.
And when I went into a recruitment consultants in Horsham, and the chap who was the manager there said to me, "Would you like a job here?" And I really got on well with him. We had such a good rapport.
Oh, so you were going to look for a job and they wanted you to work as a recruiter. Okay, great.
And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't even think of that. So, yeah, that would be good. So I ended up working there for a while.
Yeah.
And he said, you've had such a wild experience of jobs. You'd be very good for our clients. So I was like, okay. So I did that for a little while. And then I saw this job come up that was for programming. And I thought, I wonder if I could get back into that again.
Okay.
So I ended up going through to Crawley. Gatwick, actually, on Manor Royal Estate, to Tales, is it? With the TH, Tales, and in engineering, and one at Virgin Engineering. I went for a couple of engineering, aeronautical engineering positions, and they weren't actually programming, they were just job card programming, which is really basic.
Right.
And ended up getting the job at Virgin Engineering. And
it's in Virgin, the Richard Branson Virgin.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, it was a separate company back then. Okay. So we were attached to Virgin, but we weren't in the same offices. But I was only going to do a 6-month contract because all my friends were all surfers and they used to go travelling, come home for 6 months work, go away for 6 months.
Sounds perfect.
Perfect. That's what I said. So I was like, I'll go and I'll get a 6-month contract, which is what I did. I got the 6-month contract in engineering. And after 4 months, they offered me the permanent position. They were like, we really want you to stay. You know, we pay for your engineering qualifications and then you get free travel and travel anywhere around the world for £28.
Oh, my goodness. That sounds insane. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh, that sounds really good. And I could go and visit my friends.
Yes, yeah.
But what they don't tell you is they only give you 3 weeks holiday to do it.
Oh, no. You see, there's always a catch. When
Always.
you're working for somebody else,
Yeah.
it does feel like that there's always a catch.
Yeah.
But then and what age were you then, Mandy? So what kind of age break?
Early 20s.
Yeah, the
Just
world's your
left
oyster.
college, yeah.
Yeah, man. And you're beautiful, you're young, you're
Yeah.
full of energy, brilliant. And then I know that you became cabin crew. So
Yes,
how did
yeah.
that transition happen?
Well, it was really funny. Well, I've got a story about, I wanted to tell you actually, because
Tell
we
me.
were chatting about fairness and equal opportunities for women.
Yes.
And obviously the struggles that we have with the glass ceiling anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And that glass ceiling, I still feel it's there. And I mean, we're in 2026 now. I don't understand.
And just for anybody who's listening and maybe hasn't heard this narrative, this term, the glass ceiling, could you just tell us what you see that as?
So the glass ceiling is basically the top earner that a woman could be. And unfortunately, men, they're always told you can be what you want to be. But my father had always told me I could be what I wanted to be. So I was really confused when I went into business because I was no longer working for my dad. And basically, I was like, well, so I can't be what I want to be then. Anyway, so this is what the glass ceiling is. It's the top of the sphere that the patriarchy impose on women, not men, the patriarchy. There's a difference. So this is the institutionalized patriarchy that we have been brought up with since the early 1900s when they got rid of paganism, when they going back a long way now, when basically the Catholic churches wanted to impose proper sanctions and control the people.
Yeah.
That's my view anyway. So they imposed religion and they brought about Christianity into Western Europe and basically controlled the paganism, which is what we were, because in England we all had Anglo-Saxon paganism.
Yeah.
If you look at our history, and they didn't want people having big orgies and things.
Oh, they didn't want people having big orgies.
No.
Oh, they sound so boring.
Bastards.
And like that pagan thing, just going a little bit off topic here. That's kind of related to worshipping other energies in the world, spirituality, or anything that's not that Christianity.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, so I'm not really religious myself, but
No.
I do look back and think, and you can see that that's the way that the patriarchy's developed this infringement on the whole of society, not just women, to control us and keep us in our place.
So this glass ceiling for women is different to a glass ceiling for men, or do men have it, in your opinion, also?
Well, I'm sure working class men do.
Yeah.
But women more so, because it's like a pecking order, isn't it? And they always say shit rolls downhill.
Ha! That's good. It's all right if you're at the top then, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. So women have never been able to break through that glass ceiling and get to earning. So unless you're a lawyer, like my sister-in-law is a derivatives lawyer, so she's obviously earning the same and on the same benefits and all the rest of it. So,
But has she had, now this is what I find really interesting in this world of work for women, is has she had extra hurdles to jump over to get on that same level as the men? Yes.
Always.
And this is something that we uncover and something that I find I talk about with a lot of women in leadership, in entrepreneurship and life is, yes, sometimes you can enter an industry where it's equal and you'll get equal pay. But my goodness, it's harder to get to that equal spot as a woman.
Yeah, I'm sure she has had that.
So you've taken on this full-time contract. Okay. And your friends have gone surfing. And what happens next?
So the story behind this, the peer review.
Yes.
I basically found out there's 3 young guys that I trained up that were getting more money than me.
Oh.
They were on exactly the same job title, exactly the same qualifications, because we all did the same engineering qualifications together. And I found out just by seeing one of their pay slips that they were actually on more money than me, even though they'd been there less time.
And you'd been part training.
And I'd been training, I trained them all up. So I was fuming.
Good.
And we went to Richard Branson's party that weekend.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to speak to Richard.
Good. Mandy, listen, I know you and I know that you would, honey. So I'm loving this.
Oh, yeah. Well, I went storming in there and obviously Richard's lovely. there saying hi to everyone on the door. Didn't feel it was appropriate to mention it then. So I thought I'll speak to him later. Anyway, got to the, I don't know if you know about the parties at Kidlington.
No,
So
but
basically, Richard used to have a party at Kidlington every year. It's more like a festival.
right.
So it was his entire company. So we're talking 35,000 people
Oh, sounds like my kind of party, Mandy.
invited to his house. This is his actual home, which has got a moat going around it. It's beautiful in Kidlington. And we were allowed to camp out on his fields. And we had big stages and like proper bands and hot air balloons that we could go up and travel in with his hot air balloon friend who's
Wow.
sadly passed away now. And yeah, so we used to do all that with Richard was there and it was fun. We used to, and it was all free.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So Richard used to give everyone tokens. You'd get free tokens for drink, free tokens for alcohol, for food, for all of the events, for the rides. There was literally everything. There was like an inflatable laser quest that we used to go on. That was amazing.
I can't believe this is a real thing. I've never been to anything like this. It sounds amazing.
It stopped after a while. I think after about 5 or 6 years, the villagers were all complaining about the noise, and then they all ended up getting invited.
Yes. Yeah.
And then when I was cabin crew, Richard was still having them, but then he started inviting all the unique passengers.
Right.
So then we were like, well, I don't want to go to work. Don't want to go to my boss's house for a party and be seeing people from work because, do you know, it was just one of those things. Anyway, so I was at the drinks bar and I bumped into Jeff, who was the director of engineering at the time, just a friend of mine, really good guy. And I said, Jeff, I want a word with you. And he was like, what? What have I done now, man? and I went, I've just found out that Matt and Kwame and I can't remember the other chap's name, they're all getting paid more than me. I said, I trained them up. And he just laughed at me. He went, it's because you're a girl.
Okay.
And I went, okay. Now I know Jeff and I knew that he was only kidding. And he just said to me, go through the proper channels, then come back to me if you don't get anywhere. And he gave me a wink. And I was like, okay, I will. So that's what happened. I tried to go through my manager, went through my line manager. I went to the departmental manager. And as far as I could get was the departmental manager.
Right.
And I said to him, we all just call him Tiger because he was completely spineless.
I love the honesty in this space. I love it. You've only had one sip of champagne.
Oh, you know me. Don't need any alcohol. And I said, what's going to happen? And he said, well, I'm just going to tell you now, we don't have the money in the budget.
Oh, they don't have the money in the budget to pay the women the same as the men. Wow.
So I just sat there and kind of nodded my head and I was like, that's fine. Same as I'd done with my manager and my line manager. I was like, I'm just going through the procedures. Okay. So at the end of the meeting, stood up, shook his hand over the table and I just said, just so you know, I'm not happy and I will be taking this further.
Good for you.
And he just kind of went, oh.
Silly woman.
Yeah, silly woman. Anyway, I left his office, went straight upstairs to the top floor and went into Jeff's room and closed the door behind me. And Jeff went, oh, Mandy's angry, the door's shutting.
It's so good.
And I sat down and I said, look, Jeff, I didn't get anywhere, mate. And he was like, okay, let's see what we can do. And within a week, I had all my back pay. I had all my money the same as the guys and it all just came up to date. And I was like, why couldn't the others just do that?
Okay, so what's really interesting there for me is you're a very likable person. You're somebody who gets on with people, okay? You're also somebody who's really happy to talk their truth, to speak their truth and to put it out there. But if you weren't well liked by Jeff or had that relationship, you wouldn't have got any further. Was it a little bit unusual for somebody, a young woman like yourself in your 20s, to speak out about that injustice?
Yeah, of course. There was other things I'd spoken about that never got actioned. And then I found out since I'd left that they were actioned after I'd left because I'd made that complaint and because the second person had then gone to HR about it. So that was to do with one of my senior engineers who was basically getting me to do all of his work. And I was like, why am I doing this? This is a senior engineer's job. I mean, I'm not being funny. Some mornings I was so hungover, I'd go in there and go, how do I do this job again?
Who am I? What day is it?
What's programming? What?
Oh, I love it. It's really interesting though, that, isn't it? That actually, if we don't speak our truth about an injustice we see, and I mean, this is back in the day now, this is many years ago, obviously.
This is the 90s.
It's in the 90s. Okay, so things have changed and moved on a little, albeit not enough, which is something we'll explore. But if we don't voice our views and actually bring those issues to the forefront, then even if we don't get somewhere, the person behind us might. And that's what happened there.
This is exactly the point here. So we need to help each other and realise that even if we don't, if there's no point, I mean, I was always the first one to complain. I was always like, come on, guys, let's go and complain about this. And then they'd be like, yeah, let's go. And I'd go, we think there's something wrong with this. And they'd go, who's we? Because I'd turn around, there's no one behind me.
That's brilliant.
Where have you all gone?
That's brilliant.
But so anyway, it turns out this guy, Amjad, bless him, he was a lovely guy, but he was doing his own master's degree and he was bringing his homework and his coursework to work.
Oh, so he was getting paid to do his job. Okay, yeah,
and his college work whilst at work and doing it and getting paid overtime some days.
Okay.
But they found out because they were watching him on the CCTV.
Okay.
So the girl who took over my job when I left, she complained too. And obviously that got stopped.
So when you left this role then, the programming, after all your adventures and your time there, that's when you moved into being cabin crew?
Yes.
So how did that transition come about? Did you think, I quite like the outfit, I'd look good in that?
No, that was really, really, really strange because I never even thought about going to cabin crew.
Yeah.
Never.
Well, if you're engineering and programming,
not
it's
even
different.
entered my head, because not even in my sphere. One of the engineers who I used to work with, Conrad, absolute corker of a guy. We worked really close together. There was me, Mark, Conrad and Matt. We used to sit in a little quad. And we always used to play tricks on each other, like turn each other's drawers upside down and empty your hole punch into each other's drawer and, stupid little tricks like that. And then all the engineers had like all these women with bikinis on or naked with their boobs out. So me and there was one other girl in engineering. We used to go around at lunchtime while they're all on their lunch and draw bikinis on their boobs.
Oh, I love it.
Things like that. So it was a lot of banter and we had a good laugh. But, I've lost my train of thought.
Well, you were saying about when you moved to being cabin crew and how that came about.
So Conrad's wife was British Airways cabin crew. And you know me, I'm very chatty.
Yes, Mandy, you are. And I love it.
Very chatty. So I used to get told off in the office for talking too much.
I don't believe it.
So apparently when we stood waiting for things to be printed out on the printer, we weren't allowed to talk to each other. Because the printer was right next to the boss's desk. Right? Why would you put the printer next to your desk if you didn't want people talking to you?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's another conversation for another time. But so Conrad said to me, do you know what, Mandy, you're so chatty and bubbly. Have you thought about going for cabin crew? And I went, no, what's that?
Yeah, because actually your personality and you fill a room with your energy, your vibe, it's brilliant. And you're in an office-based role here. You're in a small office, small team. More to give.
Yeah. So he was saying, why don't you go and do that for a while? So I was chatting about it and I thought, I don't know. And Jeff was there and he said, I'll sponsor you. He said, go for it. He said, I've got friends in the cabin crew. He said, they're in recruitment. He said, I'll get you in. I went, I don't want any special favours.
Yeah, go on, Jeff. I like Jeff.
I liked Jeff.
Yeah.
He said, go. And if you don't like it, come back in a year's time and just be my PA or something. That's exactly what Jeff said to me. And I was like, I'll do that then.
Do you know what? That's so good because people get stuck where they feel safe. And that can happen at any age. And I think particularly when you get older. I mean, we're in midlife now. But that's great that you were young. You took that. Let's do it. Let's try it. So what was that like then?
Oh, it was really cool because I had a guy I was really interested in at the time that I liked.
Yeah.
He was in engineering too, Matt, my ex. And I was with him for 7 years. We flew together as cabin crew.
Oh,
For the first 7 years of my cabin crew was a completely different experience to the last half of my cabin crew years because I was in a serious relationship.
Oh, and he was he joined as a cabin crew member too. Okay.
He was training to be a pilot and we lived together. So he never had any money to do anything. And he used to spend every penny that he ever earned on his pilot's license, on flying and training. And when we went to Orlando together, we used to go down to the Florida Keys and fly over there in Cessnas. And
beautiful.
Yeah, it was beautiful. That's where I joined the Mile High Club.
Oh, hold on a minute. Right, have a sip of that champagne. So we are now, how old are we? Let's say we're getting towards the end of your relationship with Matt. So what age are we here? Early 30s? or late 20s, maybe?
Early 30s.
Early 30s.
Because I think I had my 30th while I was still seeing him. I had it with all my friends in Vegas and I didn't invite him.
Okay, so it was getting towards the end of that
It was
relationship.
getting towards the end of that
So
relationship.
back it up a little bit. You joined the Mile High Club when?
Over the Florida Keys.
Sounds like a
While he
really
was
nice
flying
place.
the plane.
Hold on a minute.
Don't even want to know about the logistics in a two-seater.
No, I don't. I can't work it
That
out.
was in a two-seater Cessna.
Mandy, I love it.
The gear stick did get them right. Well, not the centre console bit. It wasn't a gear stick, you know what I mean?
No, I don't. I've never been in the cockpit. I love it.
Brilliant.
Okay, so you're flying, you're living this life, but actually it's almost part restricted because you have got a partner.
Yes,
And
yeah.
you can't go out and be wild per se.
Well,
Well, sounds like you're pretty wild.
This is it. But it was pretty wild, but I never really put myself out there until, but now I was quite happy. And I'd been cabin crew about 6 or 7 years at that point. Absolutely loving flying, and went on to do it for 12 years in the end. So didn't even go back. And Jeff
was waiting for his PA.
He left engineering before I even. He's retired.
No, he's still there waiting, I've heard. He's emailed me this morning.
He
Poor
retired before I even thought about leaving.
Wow.
Bless him. But so anyway, the weird thing was I never really thought about splitting up with Matt. And then when we did split up, it was a whole different ball game.
Yeah, well, it's a whole new world.
It's completely different. You don't see that side of life when you're serious and committed to someone.
Yeah.
So when I wasn't in a relationship, I was like, whoa, this is amazing. This is crazy. You know, you'd be out there, we'd be partying. There's like 22 young lasses. And by this time I was a CSS, so I was the manager. Yeah. So I was going out and I was in charge of all the girls, and I'd have like 22 lasses or lads and lasses with me. Yeah. And we'd go to Vegas and we just get in everywhere for free, and
you're all gorgeous.
Guest lists.
You're all glamorous. Yeah. Oh, it's lovely.
Little Gucci handbags and little Prada shoes, and
wow, what a life, Mandy.
It was crazy. And but I used to go travelling myself as well in between flights, because you could swap flights. So you only kind of did 4 flights a month because of the turnaround. So if you moved your flights and you had holiday, you could have like a whole month or 2 off. Wow. So I used to go travelling with just my backpack. Okay. And just use my £28 tickets.
Okay. So you actually, so that's really interesting. So now you're living a different life. You're not doing the programming. It's not so restricted with your 3 weeks holiday. You can maneuver and manipulate your time. Yeah. And you were just travelling on your own or with your friends?
On my own. Yeah. I planned to do it with friends. Yeah. But that life-work balance doesn't always work out for everyone. Yeah. And my other friends, I plan to go travelling around Thailand, Peru and Bolivia with Lindsay and Verity. Yeah. And unfortunately, they both had boyfriends, and this happened or that happened. Yeah. And then Lindsay went into she left being cabin crew and went to be a really serious job. She was a social worker, so she didn't get as much holiday off. So it was like they were then restricted. So I just thought, well, I'm not going to not go.
Yeah. Okay, so that's really, really positive. Yeah. You're such a go-getter, Mandy. It's something I know. It's something I love about you. But people can't make it to this plan, but you're going to go anyway. And you've actually managed to carve out at this point in your life a balance, which is that work-life balance.
It is. That's what people want in life, is that work-life balance. And I just didn't find it working in an office. And
no, you didn't. For me. And maybe not in that relationship with Matt either.
No. Yeah. Well, there's always more complexities to a relationship, isn't it? Yeah. You know, it takes a village and all that, and his family didn't really...
weren't keen? Not keen on the mile highs?
They were hard work, put it that way. His mum would say things to me like, if you know me, I'm always planning things.
Yeah, yeah.
So I planned this weekend away in Paris, and I took him away to Paris because he never had any money, because he always spent every single penny he had on flying lessons, on gliding lessons, on, doing his pilot's license. Yeah. So I thought, I'm going to still plan stuff, and I just pay for it. Okay. I'm only the type of person who will ask you to do something twice and then I'll do it myself.
Yeah, good.
So I basically I planned this trip to Paris, and she said to me, I hope Matt didn't spend his money on you because he's got better things to spend it on.
Oh, she sounds nice.
She's divine.
How is she? Do we know?
I don't know. I'm sure she's lovely still.
You know, it takes me back. I had a boyfriend called Matt back in the day in my early 20s, and his mum hated me too. I walked in to meet her the first time, Mandy. She went, oh, you're not blonde. Well, no, love.
Do you want to check?
Yeah. Have a look. I thought to myself, you're not friendly. I know where I stand here.
Spiky.
Yeah, spiky ladies. Okay, so we are now out having it large. We're travelling in between. You've got your work-life balance. And as I introduced you, we know that you've written this amazing book, which is a bestseller, Cabin Fever. So when did you leave being a member of the cabin craft and then write this book? How did that all come about?
Well, it was really strange, actually, because when I left flying, I went to work as a PA, but for another director.
Oh, not for Jeff.
No,
Jeff's gone.
Not for Jeff. Jeff was well out of there. This was for Chris, the sales and distribution director at Virgin Holidays.
Okay.
The best boss I've ever had.
Oh, we love Chris. Give it up to Chris.
We used to do the most cool things. We used to organise, because we had we were in charge of staff travel. We were in charge of all of the books, magazines that we used to put out there. So part of my job as his PA was to go and test out the new hotels.
Oh, now we're talking. Mandy, you've fallen on your feet here.
I know, it was brilliant. And it just was, we used to take turns because there was 9 PAs, but it was amazing, that job. We used to do things like have fish chip Fridays, where Chris used to say, just get everyone fish and chips. So I used to organise a fish and chip van come round and for all the staff, because we'd try and incentivise all the sales staff, and it was a really nice atmosphere. There was always bake sales going on, and I was always baking, but I wasn't that good at baking back then.
Well, you are good now. Yeah, we like that.
I'm good now, but that's just through necessity, though, having kids, isn't it?
Well, this is it. And this is where we get to, is actually our skill sets change as we get older and different things come into our lives.
Yeah, so I basically went on to do that, then fell pregnant.
Okay, so we've met Glenn.
Met my husband, Glenn. And then fell pregnant and decided not to go back after having the baby. Yeah. And even though I was offered another 2 PA jobs in Virgin Holidays, and they tried to keep me on gardening leave, which messed all my tax up. And I was like, no, I really don't think you can do this job part-time. It's, to be a PA, I need to be there more than the director is.
Yes,
so
agreed.
That's my ethos for work.
Okay, so that's really interesting now, because you've really highlighted something that I get a lot talking to women, is the question that, can you have it all? And it sounds very sensible that you've now realised that the role you did, the job you had, maybe the life and all the travel and that could have been curbed back, but the actual role, being that PA, being on call, knowing what's going on all the time, you can't do part-time.
No.
So you either have to give your child full-time to someone else or you have to put that job down. That's really difficult.
This is it. So that's the decision I had to make. And they even said you could job share with someone. But to me, if I'm in charge of a director, I want to be in charge, and I need to know everything that person's doing, and I need to know and to be one step ahead of them.
Yeah,
all the
agreed.
time, and if I could now, as I'm a CEO now, I would say I would want my PA to be that. Yeah, that's what you need.
It just doesn't quite work, does it? Because something will get lost, something will get missed. Yeah. And the communication, you cannot communicate everything from half of a week's work to the other person. Yeah. And
unfortunately, working part-time, I didn't feel would handle in that position. And it turns out the girl who took my job, the job that they'd offered me part-time, also said that she only stayed 6 months.
Right.
She couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
It was the same situation that I knew in my head would work out. So basically I'm sat there on my sofa at home, breastfeeding. Yeah. Feeling like a mammoth cow.
Yes.
Breast pumps on.
Honey, I know.
Arms free. Even when the baby's asleep, you're still doing other stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's, you can't really do a job because your brain, you get a lot of baby brain.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when babies are so little
And your
you're so
identity.
tired.
Yeah, you're tired. But I always found, I've had 2 children, teenagers now. My identity shifted when I had
Big
babies.
time.
Because I wasn't just Lucy anymore. I was a mum. And you lose part. You grow and gain so much, as we know. We're happy to be parents. But it's like a whole new door has opened and you're in a room, you don't know where you're at.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what made you write the book?
Well, I was sat there with breastfeeding and had my hands free.
Ah, okay. So baby on the boob, you got the pillow under there. Yeah. But you got hands.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I ended up looking through a couple of my journals and rewrote them. I was chatting to a friend of a friend, who's one of Glenn's friends, actually, my husband, and he had just written a book about the Madeleine McCann situation. He was one of the policemen on that force, and it was all very serious. But he recommended me to his book agent.
Right.
So I pitched this book thinking they're never going to take this. I just rang him up and I was like, hi, Andrew. It's Andrew Lowney. He's very, very famous at the moment. Apparently Donald Trump's suing him at the minute.
Is he? Yeah. Oh, Donald Trump.
I just sue anyone.
Yeah.
But so I was like, hi, Andrew. I was given your number by, I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Basically, are you interested in this? So I pitched it over the phone. It's about 5 air hostesses. It's going to be like Sex in the City, in the sky. I'm going to write it about me and my 5 friends. It's going to jump from story to story. It's all about the millionaires and billionaires that we've dated. It's going to be loads of naughtiness and be fun. And I basically told him this story about something that had happened a week before last, where me and my 5 air hostess friends, because we were all very close, they were all actually my bridesmaids, and we were actually in a car travelling back from Lindsay's house up north, and there was a car accident in front of us.
Wow.
It's 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. Nothing else on the roads, but this car just swerved off the road into a ditch.
Wow.
And we were shocked because we were totally sober and like, what's going on? Kath, who was driving, didn't used to be an air hostess, but we were like, pull over, because all of us were all first aid trained. So we were like, pull over, get over there. So she had to reverse up the motorway to get into the lay-by.
Wow.
We were all clambering out, got out, went to rescue these 4 guys, 4 young lads. They were in their early 20s, late teens, and they'd basically been to a festival all night, still off their head slightly, or whatever it was. And some of them didn't make it.
Wow.
Like the back of their heads were not fully there, and it wasn't very pleasant. But we were on the phone to the ambulance service. I said, it was so, if you can imagine 5 air hostesses with high heels and denim shorts running down the motorway going to save all these guys.
Oh my goodness.
And we literally kept them alive, or kept them alive until the helicopter turned up.
Wow.
But we heard after then that one of them had seriously been injured, and I don't think he made it, bless him, but he didn't have a seatbelt on.
Oh my goodness.
Silly. He was in the back, but he didn't have a seatbelt on. But yeah, so we basically kept them alive until the ambulance turned up, and I pitched him this story over the phone and he went, I love it.
Yeah. Well, it's a story and a half, isn't it?
Write it all down. I'd already kind of written it down. So I said, I'll send you what I've got. And he went, yeah, you're not touching on the subject. So it's like what you said earlier. So it's because it's my life and I've lived it. I don't know what the special bits are.
Yeah, you've normalised it.
Yeah.
And actually, people listening to this podcast, they will be like, this woman's done these crazy things. She was so bold when she was so young. She was this, she was that. Whereas it's just you. It just comes naturally and it's normal. So you then had to unpick the elements in your life and try and see it through the perspective of a reader, I suppose.
Exactly. So Andrew actually, as a manager, he set me aside a ghostwriter.
Oh, okay.
And she helped pick out the stories that she felt were the most juicy, shall we say.
Yeah, the ones that are going to make people want to read on for more.
Yeah. But again, being a woman in that environment, I really felt like I'd sold my soul a little bit.
Okay,
Because
how so?
I don't feel, if that had been a man selling his autobiography, would they have asked him to put so many sex stories in?
Interesting.
I
so many
really
kiss and
felt-
tells, so many that. And you felt that from that, is it a
Lots
publicist?
of pressure. He's my manager.
Manager, they were pushing for more juicy bits.
Always, they want names of celebrities, they want names of this, they want this and that. I went, look, I'm not here to ruin families.
Yeah?
because I had lots of names of celebrities that my colleagues had been with and slept with, and things had happened, and I didn't name names of anyone in the book that it wasn't already out there, because I was not there to ruin families.
So tell us one juicy story from that. We've got time for that. So from your book, and it is Cabin Fever, and it's Mandy Smith is the author. I'm sure people who are going to be listening to this are going to be intrigued if they've not already read it.
Okay.
Give us one of the juicy stories. Come on.
Oh, what do you class as juicy?
Honey, my middle name, I'm Lucy Juicy.
I don't know. I can't. Do you know what? I wrote it 15 years ago.
Yeah, so you can't. But we'd say celebrities having it off and some naughty things happening high up in the sky, I suppose. Yeah. Okay.
So there was lots of I can't, honestly, I'm really sorry. I can't remember a bloody thing about that book now.
Actually hilarious. You're going to have to go home and do your own work on your own authoring.
I have literally, I'm so over that now.
Yeah, but actually that's really interesting that you are so over that now. And I think we can always, women, reflect on years gone by. I mean, what is that, 15 years? The life cycle of your daughter today, 15 years. I was not the same person 15 years ago.
Well, that's basically my entire sex life from my 20s in that book.
Is it? There we go.
So some of it I want to forget.
Yeah. Oh, honey, don't we all?
There was one story I was telling them about me getting, obviously the story of me in the Cessna was one of those.
Right,
but there was this, obviously a story in there of this chap. He was a bit of a toff. I did date a few posh guys. They were very attractive to me, being from up north. I really like that posh accent.
Yes.
And he kind of slammed me against the tiles so hard in his bathroom that the tiles broke.
Oh my goodness, Mandy.
He was lovely.
Yeah, he sounds interesting.
Funny enough, Glenn knows him.
Does he? That's your husband now. Oh, don't go there.
Oh, I've told him everything. He knows
don't
it.
go in any tiled bathrooms.
Glenn's not. He's such a lovely guy. His ego doesn't take any
and
damage.
Glenn, your husband, who obviously I know and I've met through yourself, he's ex-famous rugby player.
He's a professional rugby player, yeah. He's played for Sarries, Bristol, Bath, and then in his later years when I met him, he was playing for Hove. But
and then he's gone on to be a businessman in his own right. So kind of skipping away from him, because this is the Champagne series and it's about us women and what we want to talk about. Tell me about the transition from becoming a mum and becoming an author. I know you were on TV a lot. You've done a lot of different radio shows. How was that for you?
Yeah, so going on TV, that was really interesting, because obviously trying to manage, because Glenn's out there earning the bread and butter. Yeah. And obviously I did earn quite a lot from the book, but you never know how much you're going to earn from your royalties. It's kind of just on the shelf, and it does just depend how much PR you do. Yeah. So and it's really interesting because you can see the PR graph goes up and down the more interviews you do. Yeah. So you're in control of your own Amazon page, and you can see the little graph going up and down every time you do a BBC interview or a GMTV or...
Oh, so the word of the book, people have seen you, they've warmed to you, and then they are clicking and they're buying. Yeah. So it's very important to get yourself out there and talk about
it.
Very
reactionary, very... So the PR definitely can make or break any business.
And you were your own PR.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because there ain't no one who can do PR better than you, darling, advertising yourself. Good.
So lots and lots of PR. And I remember the best one, I took Glenn with me on this one as well. So he was over the moon to meet Martin Kemp.
Oh, amazing. That's so cool.
Holly Willoughby interviewed me.
She's beautiful, Holly Willoughby.
She's lovely. She's a lovely person. She was very giggly. She's very pro breastfeeding as well. So when I told her I wrote my book because I was breastfeeding and on the couch, she
loved that.
And Philip Schofield wasn't there that day, so I had another girl called Christine. I think she interviewed me. And I met Kerry Katona and all the other girls, everyone else in the green room, meeting all these famous people. I'd already met them on board the plane, but obviously they won't remember me because I only served them tea and coffee or whatever. Yeah. That was great, going out and doing the actual interviews in a studio is completely different to the experience of me doing these from home interviews. So when I did a whole, what would they call it? When you do a whole load of interviews, one after the other.
I don't know.
When you do a book tour. It's kind of like a book tour, but it was for Penguin Books. Because there was one publishing house in Australia that had, I can't even remember the name of them now, Black Ink. Okay. Then I had Thistle in UK and I had Penguin in America. Right. And it's really funny because the Americans just didn't get my sense of humour.
Oh, interesting.
Really didn't get it. Canadians loved it, and all the Germans and all the rest around the world, but the Americans just did not get my sense of humour at all.
Do you think they could understand you with your Geordie accent?
Probably not. I did talk to them when we did these radio interviews. So I'm sat at home, obviously husband's at work.
Right.
I'm having to put an iPad in front of my daughter.
Of course.
To keep her busy so she doesn't run in the middle of these interviews.
And you're having these interviews with these big publishing houses and you're doing it and it's a radio, but it's done over the phone.
Well, this one particular day I had, must have been at least 10 interviews back to back. Not even enough time to pee in between.
Wow.
You know me, I can pee for England.
Yeah.
I'm literally going... so they would go from one radio station to the next. So it was the Penguin lady that organised it. So we'd go from Florida to Texas to New York there were literally different radio stations, and it was one after the other after the other.
And you were live on these, were you?
Yeah,
Joining
all live,
Wow.
all chatting away about different celebrities or things, and trying to obviously watch what I'm saying. And it's funny because when you go live on air, they go, right, here's the legals. Don't say this, don't say that, don't say this, don't say that. Go.
But they want you to talk about something juicy and interesting from this book that is spilling
Tell
secrets.
us something juicy. I'm like, you just told me not to.
Wow. So that's really hard, actually. So you were working. I mean, and that is work. You're working.
You're constantly thinking. And I've got Glenn behind the camera sometime going to me like this. And I'm like,
what's he saying? What's he doing?
Well, this is afterwards. I go, what the fuck were you doing?
Doing a little disco dance.
Holly Wollabooby's head.
I love that.
And it was like, I was telling you that you weren't answering her question. I was avoiding the question and answering how I wanted to answer.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn, for the funky arm dance in the background, mate. Yeah. And so all the time you're doing that, you're building, you're growing. And then obviously your daughter's growing up. She's going through her years and ages. So what happened after you wrote that book? What happened with your career trajectory from then?
That was a really funny one because lots of different things happened with the book. So I got death threats.
Whoa. Okay. Now that's unusual. Is that from people you had mentioned in the book or?
I don't know. There were people online that had started trolling me that were saying they were cabin crew and I'd stolen some of their stories or...
Oh, they were jealous.
Yeah. And apparently one of them had all of the same stories written in their laptop in their car, and I'd obviously stolen their car, took the laptop and then replaced it all. I don't know where I got them from.
Goodness.
Anyway, it's even to the point where my brother had a dinner party and he had a girl who was cabin crew just by chance at the dinner party, and she'd said, oh, this bloody Mandy Smith, rah, rah, rah. And he went, whoa, that's my sister.
Whoa.
Shut the fuck up.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So you'd come up. So you'd done something for the first time, actually, because there wasn't a book about the life of a cabin crew out there. So you'd got a novel idea, you'd moved with it. And anyone else who was maybe not so action orientated was thinking about it. You pipped them to the post, honey.
Exactly.
People don't like that.
Exactly. But this girl thought that I'd put her in my book because I used her name. But what I don't think she realised was the girls that were in my book had used pseudonyms and they'd chosen those names.
Yes, yeah. So she just happened to have the name that say it's Emma, and that was the pseudonym that had been chosen.
I don't even think I knew this girl or remembered her. I'm without blowing my own trumpet, people tend to remember me at a party because I'm usually the one standing on the table kicking your glass of wine off the table.
Good. Good.
But, you know, it's one of those things. I was the boss, so I had like 20 young girls that I was managing. I didn't always remember everyone.
Of course you didn't. No, it's busy.
I was told afterwards by one of the girls, they all looked up to me and they, you know, revered me. So they remembered me and they would be like, oh, yeah, I remember working with her. She's really whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's different when you're the manager.
Yeah, and you're leading the way. And I think that being a woman in leadership, I suppose being a man in leadership, sometimes you're so fixated on everything you're doing and where you're going to, then there are going to be people and things you miss along the way. It's how we shine.
Yeah, and you see hundreds, if not thousands of people, maybe a week. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got death threats. So people were jealous that you'd rolled with this idea, it'd become a success, and you were on TV, all the glitter and glam that they wanted, I suppose. But I think a lot of the time people don't have the balls to take that step of action and make it happen.
Yeah, but that made me realise that I didn't actually like being in the limelight as much as I...
And actually, I appreciate that because it's been hard work getting you to come on here. Interesting, Mandy.
Yeah. So I realised I'd rather take a step back. So I then went into screenplay writing.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I then went to Met Film Studio.
Right.
At Ealing Studios, at Met Film School, sorry, and did a couple of years there, a couple of seasons.
Okay.
It was really interesting and I loved it. And those people, and sometimes the guest lecturers came in and opened your eyes because they would say something like, you know, so if you're a woman, not necessarily women, men or women, in screenwriting. And this one lady made this statement and it just blew my mind. And she said, so what do you want to do? What's your goal in life? And they were like, oh, I want to write a movie and I want it to be a blockbuster and I want it to be in LA. And she'd be like, okay, let's just unravel that slightly. So you would like to be your one movie that you're going to get paid 20 grand for. That's how much you're probably going to get for your screenplay. You're probably going to be taken on as a consultant afterwards. So you get another 5-10 grand for that. But that's probably 2 to 3 years' work you're getting 20 grand for.
Right.
And you're writing about something in LA that you don't know anything about.
Yeah, so it's like a dream there.
Yeah, she said, I recommend that you all write about what you know. Only write about what you know. So that changed my mind again because she's like, whoa, yeah, really. Obviously, I've been a lot of places, but you've got to write what you really know.
Isn't that interesting? And I think anybody listening now, because that's really just hit a nerve with me, write about what you know. Do what you know and what sets your soul on fire, I suppose.
Yeah.
What part of your knowledge and your unique life experience is really interesting? Oh, how interesting.
She was amazing, this guest lecturer. I can't remember her name, but she was so cool. And she basically said the best way to make money as a screenwriter is to think of ideas. So I was like, oh, I'm always full of ideas. That's one thing I've got is a million ideas. I'm such a procrastinator. Right? Sometimes I'm so full of ideas, I get overwhelmed and I don't know which one to do first.
Yeah.
So and she said, what you do, you get five grand per idea because you can sell them to the producers.
And then they roll with your ideas. Oh, maybe I should have got into that. I've got loads of ideas.
So she basically told us how to do it. So you have to write a whole screenplay, get it edited, get a manager, get an agent, not manager. And then you get put into that clique. So you're in that zone. They know your abilities. You then write the skeleton outline of each series, TV series or movie.
Wow.
And you sell it per idea. So then you're in the zone of how many ideas can you come up with a week? And you're pitching to these producers 5 grand a pitch.
Wow.
Sometimes like 20 ideas a week. So that's the way to make money as a screenwriter.
Oh, how interesting. I never knew that about you, Mandy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of jack of all trades.
You are. And actually, that's what you said at the beginning. I thought, well, no, because you're just this forward, confident, go get a woman. But yes, you have had this whole plethora of different roles in different industries. So what is it that sets your soul on fire now? What are we looking towards the future?
Well, now because when I had my daughters, like you say, it changes your complete periphery.
Yeah.
Changes your opinion and your outlook on life. And when I found out, I was watching, I think it was about 12 years ago now, I started designing this particular item. So I had this idea.
Okay.
I was watching Watchdog, and it was Esther Ranson, I think.
I remember that. I used to love watching that.
Yeah, well, she'd made this Watchdog about smoke alarms and how children under the age of 12 are not able to be woken up by an average run-of-the-mill smoke alarm that we have in our homes right now.
So just so I can get this right, the smoke alarms, I mean, we're in this beautiful studio here, the podcast studio in Brighton. That standard alarm wouldn't wake up a 12-year-old. No. And why is that?
The high frequency is, the pitch just doesn't wake them up. So I don't know if you know this, but the police and shopping mall cops, I guess they're called, use frequencies. They send frequencies out to disperse teenagers. So
like you do with the foxes in your garden.
Yeah.
Oh no,
you can't even hear it. It just happened. And Becky, our friend Becky, who's the firearms specialist, she was telling me she knew all about this, and she was saying, "Oh yeah, I've heard about this." And
So in shopping malls, they don't want all the teenagers gathering. There's a frequency being played that's anti-teenage ear-rolls, and it keeps them away.
Apparently, I didn't know that bit.
Wow,
But
okay.
I'd watched this Watchdog, and they showed you all of the videos. They'd done research, and it was one of the universities had been doing. I think it was one of the Scottish universities. I can't remember off the top of my head. And they'd basically been doing all this research on whether the children wake up or not. So they'd videoed it all, and it was really interesting watching it because the children, it was on like 1 or 2 waking up, and then they just go back to bed again.
Ah,
It's really worrying.
yeah.
Now, Esther Ranson, bless her, confronted the Fire Brigade and said, why aren't you doing anything about this? Why don't we know? As parents, why aren't you telling us these things? You know?
Because there must be deaths because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously there are. I mean, look at Grenfell.
Yes.
I mean, it's horrendous. But the representative for the Fire Brigade basically said, we are relying on parents to grab their children on their way out the door. But unfortunately, it takes 4 minutes or 3 to 4 minutes for an average 4-bedroom house to fill up with smoke. And it's the smoke that kills you, the smoke inhalation. It's not the fire.
Right.
And my friends who are firemen have told me many stories. I won't relay all of them, but some of them of children that they've found that are curled up in a wardrobe trying to hide from the fire, and they're just burnt to a crisp. It's just gross because we're not addressing this problem. So I thought, right, there must be something I can do. So I've designed a smoke alarm that children can hear.
So not only is this brilliant, but it will save lives.
It will, yeah, definitely will save
So what's
lives.
the difference with what you've designed? How does it work?
I've just changed the frequency, and I've adapted it so that the parents can record their own voice.
Oh, wow. This is absolutely
And it's
brilliant.
all intertwined with I've done a full smoke safety system now. So it's going to be a smart safety system that will be integrated into Control 4. So most people with Control 4 or people who haven't got Control 4 will basically just use it off Alexa.
Okay, so we're talking about something that's fixing a problem that has been around for years and most people don't even know it's a problem.
Know it's a problem, yeah.
But this could alert a child under the age 12 years and younger that there is a fire happening, and then they will have maybe the education before to know what to do.
Well, this is it. So I've written a book to go with that.
Of course, she's written a book.
I've written a book to go
Our
with that.
screenwriter and our author, Mandy.
This is the thing. So I'm pulling in all these background informations from my previous experience. So I've got the onboard fire safety system from when I worked in aeronautical engineering, where on an airplane you follow the lights.
Right.
And where it's green, it's safe to go, and when it's red, you don't. So this is what I'm integrating into the system.
Right.
I won't go too much into it to give all my secrets away.
No, this sounds brilliant.
I've written a book to go with it, so it's an actual educational book that teaches the parents as they're reading it to their children, and there's going to be like, if this happens, then do that. So there's like alternate endings.
Oh, okay. So I used to love those books when I was growing up. They were the Goosebump books, weren't they? You chose your way through. Yeah. And that means it's interactive. Yeah. And you're giving the child the choice of a path and they can see where they go. Yeah. Mandy, I am blown away by this. So what is the name of this product? When is it going to be out? And how do people find out more?
Okay. So I've called the company Cloud Angel Technologies.
Yep.
And I've also designed the whole smoke alarm system around that children's smoke alarm. So they all look very similar and it integrates into the entire house now.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Okay, well, you'll be hearing more about it soon. So that's fantastic. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions.
Okay.
Champagne's been flowing. Get that down your neck. Come on, no messing around. And I'd like to make sure I speak to all the women that join us here in this beautiful space and ask them the same questions. So.
Okay.
Because this is the first one. I don't know by heart yet, Mandy. So what is a truth about your life that most people would never guess?
Oh,
I mean, you've done quite a few with us already, so that's quite a good one.
About me personally?
Yeah, about your life and about you, that maybe something about how you feel, because you come across as a really bold, confident woman. Is there a truth behind that that's maybe going on that people could relate to?
I can't think of anything. Sorry.
That's all right. Don't worry. You come to you later on when you're in bed.
Exactly.
You'll think of 10 of them. Let's go to number 2.
yeah,
No
go on then.
pressure. Where in your life did you actually once abandon yourself? And how did you come back from that?
Abandon myself. I could definitely answer that one. I would say that was in Thailand.
Okay.
I was kind of on a mission back then when I used to go backpacking on my own. I'm surprised I haven't died a million times because I was so adventurous. If there was one particular time when we were on a boat going around some islands in Thailand, Koh Phi Phi, I think we were, and this guy came upstairs in broken English. Who wants to come? Who wants to come? And I was like, oh, me. I didn't even know what I was volunteering for.
Didn't know where you were going.
I'm coming. And my friend who was there, Peps, he's like, you sure? And I went, yeah. He'd clearly heard something I hadn't. And he went, you might want to borrow my reefs, my sandals. And I went, okay, why? So the plan was to swim out to this hole in the side of this mountain, climb up the side of these rocks into the hole of the mountain, and then hike over to the other side of the island.
Right.
And I was just going to do barefoot. I'm like, me, I'm coming, just take my shoes off, I'm off.
Oh my
and
goodness.
I was just psychotic back then. I would just do anything. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And good job I took his reefs because there was just one tiny little Thai man pulling us out the water where these waves were beating us against the rocks. And we had to climb up these rocks on a tiny little rope. And this one man grabbed my hand and pulled me out. We had to climb through this crack in the mountainside and hike across the most beautiful jungle. It was amazing.
Yeah, so once you're there on that other side, that's quite symbolic, I think, for this series.
It was a beautiful beach.
Yeah. So it's kind of like what that reads to me is taking a risk into the unknown. But actually, if we don't take action towards our dreams, which I think you symbolise perfectly, actually, Mandy, you won't get to that beautiful jungle or that special sacred place, the other side. So during your travels and times in Thailand, was there a time when you felt a little bit lost and you weren't so sure of where you were going?
I guess most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So honest.
And still now.
Yeah.
It's like in life now, even though, people would class us as successful as a family or as a, couple, you just never know. And like we said earlier about resilience, I've just realised how resilient I am. And the only difference between someone who's successful and someone who's not seem to be as successful is the amount of times you can get back up and just keep getting back up and saying, come on then, keep it coming.
Yeah. I've been knocked down, but I'm going to get back up.
I'm going to get back up. I'm just going to keep going. Because your end of your story is only an end if you end it.
Yeah.
But if you just keep going, it's still part of your story.
Yeah. It's funny. I think I shared a post on my Insta the other day. What was it? Something along the lines of... fear kills more hopes and dreams than failure ever does. So the fear of taking that action is only a fear. It's only a thought, isn't it? And we have to move forward. We have to keep moving forward. And that's a really interesting reflection as well, Mandy, that people on the outside can often think, oh, they've got it all sorted. Oh, look at her. And I will say you're in your 50s now, your early 50s. You do not look it. You're fabulous. But people would look at you. You've got your beautiful child. You've got your daughter. You've got your husband. You're doing this thing. You've been there. You've done a book. But actually, I think as people, as women, which we're concentrating on in this series, there are days when we feel just as lost as everyone else. And it's how you keep going and ploughing through. Yeah.
And I think that honesty helps each other.
Yes.
Brings you back to we're just the same as everyone. And it's all about supporting each other. And women supporting women is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And we really need to do more of that because if we don't, I don't believe it's going to happen. We need to, when I was chatting to earlier about the 90s, I'm talking about 1996, so this is 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And we're still having the same issues now.
Yeah.
This manosphere that's just come in.
Yes, that's right. Louis Theroux.
And these 62 million views on that website.
Yeah, so just an overview of that. That's people who were logging onto a website to find out how to drug rape their wives.
Their partners and wives, and some of their mothers. It was horrific. Yeah. These people, and this is whenever anyone's saying now, this when people arguing online. That's one of my favourite hobbies.
Yeah, we
As
do.
you know.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. We need to just get you out the house a bit more. But the arguing online, but at least you're sharing your truth. You're spicing it up. You're putting it out there.
I do enjoy arguing with flat earthers and fascists, I must admit. I have my pseudonym online. But this red pill society of this manosphere of, they're trying to make us back to being trad wives again. When if you wanted to be a trad wife, perfectly fine.
Yeah.
This is what feminism is about, equality, but it's also about choice.
Yes, Mandy.
It's about your choice. If you choose to be a trad wife, go for it.
Yeah.
I really respect you.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it and just do that alone. I tried and I was so monotonously bored in my head and I lost myself.
Yeah.
But I needed something to inspire me and my mind was like all over like a flea on a dog's back.
But if that's your choice and that's the
Exactly.
life you choose, then great. But do you feel like women are being, through this manosphere, steered into these roles more, being told that's where they need to be?
We've been told, literally told online, social media now, being told white liberal women are the problem. So they've moved away from the immigrants now.
Yeah.
And they're moving on to white liberal women. And they're in America, mostly, obviously, it's coming into this country now as well with the reformists. But they're getting rid of, women's rights in America. Women are not allowed to have abortion anymore. And there's people travelling over 3 state lines to get abortions for their 10-year-old daughters.
Who's been raped or something awful's happened.
By family members. And then the doctor who didn't do anything wrong, the female doctor that did the abortion actually got prosecuted for that.
Yeah. So there's women who are, you feel like white women in their lives are being subject now to the attention and kind of making them conform into a role that maybe we've been speaking out a little bit too much.
This is what
Are we a bit dangerous?
So. We're a little bit dangerous. We're worse than terrorists, apparently.
Are we? Yeah. Worse than my terrier as well.
Yeah, we are classed as, what is it they call us? Domestic terrorists now. In America, we're domestic terrorists.
Okay. So a woman with her opinion and feeling confident to stand united against what she sees as an atrocity is a, what's the term? Terrorist?
Yeah, domestic terrorist.
Domestic terrorist.
Yeah. Well, this is exactly what's happening in America. So they're labelling people. They're moved on from immigrants now, and anyone with a different skin colour.
Yeah.
They're now they've realised that they can't actually manage without the people doing the jobs they didn't want to do.
Yes.
That's what's happened.
Oh, so the attention shifted. And actually, I've been working with a lovely guy called Matt, who's a social impact storyteller, Matt Mahood Ogden. He's on LinkedIn, he's brilliant. And he's been talking to me a lot about the trans women in America and how their rights have been ripped away.
It's horrendous out there at the moment.
Yeah.
There's just no rights whatsoever for any LGBTQ of our friends. It's just horrendous. And I chat to people online and I say, come to Brighton.
Yeah.
We are completely asexual here.
Yeah, yeah.
And not in asexual. What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know, like open. We're open. We're tolerant of and accepting of everyone. I mean, even the toilets here, they were unisex. I just been in.
Yeah,
I did see a little bit of wee on the toilet seat though, and I can't help but to tut and think, wouldn't happen in the ladies.
No, probably not.
So we're running out of time.
sorry.
I mean, you're going to have to come on again. I love talking to you, but just as a final remark on this first episode of the Champagne series, if a woman is watching this and she's feeling stuck, perhaps in a part of her life from a time gone by where you once were, what does she need to hear? Not what does sound nice.
Yeah.
What would you say to her, Mandy?
I've been there. Just if you have an idea, even if it's the silliest idea of a business plan or something you've wanted to do or thinking about doing, just go for it.
Yeah.
If it's just an idea, just go for it, because that's how businesses start and that's how ideas start. It's just from a silly little idea that's it's progressed into something else.
Yeah.
Just go for it. Whatever you want to do. If it's been staying at home with your children, go for it.
Yeah.
If it's going out there and conquering a new company and developing, smart home ideas, brilliant. That's what you want to do. Go for it. Because everything starts at the beginning and your journey will start at the beginning too.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So if you've got an idea, you've got a passion, you want to pursue a purpose, move.
Yeah.
Move, take action.
Yeah.
Roll with it. I love that. You've been such an inspiring guest. Like, Mandy, I knew you would be. I could sit here. Well, I mean, we've still got champagne in
Oh,
there.
we do normally sit here for hours.
Yes, we do. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go and head down the pub now, shall we, darling?
Let's.
Yeah, bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
So you've been listening to BrightIAM's The Champagne series, and we've had the wonderful Mandy Smith, author of Cabin Fever and a whole plethora of other work and life experiences. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you've really enjoyed it, and be back again soon. Thank you. Come on, darling. Hey.